All right, guys. So the first thing we got to do is we got to put this in our journal. Wait, miss. Okay. Okay, so we're going to have matrices. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. Well, that was terrible. Let me tell it to refocus. Okay. Once you have that, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do this. Now, matrices are used a lot in real life. They're part of what makes the internet secure and safe. Okay. So matrices are used a lot in real life with computer programming, with security. Anytime you guys are using a website that says secure, like you know how it says HTTPS, the S means secure, that they're using matrices to run some of those algorithms to keep you safe. Now, we are at Algebra 2. Then there is trigonometry, then there is calculus, then there is multivariable calculus, then there is then there's linear equations, and then there's differential equations, and all of that happens before you get to the level of cryptography, which is what these are used for. We are starting. Cryptography is basically code ciphers, basically how the entire world is run right now to keep it safe, so that hackers can't get in. That's cryptography. So basically, we're going to be starting at level 0. Go ahead and open up to page 21. This is what we're going to be working on. Now I'm going to walk you through this. The most important step is step 1. Every single thing has to be in standard form. X, Y, Z. Alphabetical order every time. I'd like you guys just to watch for a second, and then I'm going to give you a minute to write it down. The first thing I'm going to do is I tried to put highlighter marks on here when I copied it so that you could see what we needed to do. So I'm going to just put in some highlighter marks, and I'm going to pause while you do that. If you need a highlighter, you can raise your hand, and I'll chuck something at your head. Anybody else need one?
You gotta use the highlight?
Yeah, baby, you want a pink one? Okay. Now what I need you to do is we're going to put some labels. This is going to be our first letter. This is going to be our second letter. This is going to be our third letter. This means equals. And this is going to be the number. I'm holding on. Thank you, Edwin. You shouldn't have to do that by hand. It's too much. Okay, you guys got it? So what this means is each column corresponds to a variable. Notice that this is going to be all the X's are going to go here. All the Y's are going to go here. All the Z's are going to be here. Have a good day, Edwin. Equal sign and a number. Notice how, you guys remember when we did our story problems, how we did very similar things? See how we have all the X's together, all the Y's together, and then the numbers? We're basically using a matrix to set that up. So we're going to solve this here. Okay, we're going to start, the first equation is going to be the top line. How many X's does it have? So we're going to put 3 here. No X. We don't actually put any letters, only the numbers. How many Y's? So it has the number 1. How many Z's? Do you see any Z's?
No.
So you're going to put a 0. And then what's the number or the constant at the end? 2. Second equation goes to the second line. Okay? How many X's? How many Y's?
4.
Almost. Thank you for the negative. How many Z's?
0.
What's the constant?
Negative.
Good job. How many X's?
Negative 5.
How many Y's?
0.
You guys are pros at this. How many how many Z's?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. And then what's the constant?
12.
Okay, now this part, I just want you to watch. I am never going to make you do this by hand. I just want you to watch, and then I'm going to show you how to do it in the calculator. Everybody understand that you are just watching right now. So right now, this corresponds to a system of equations. And I literally hate doing these by hand. It just takes too much time. So what I'm supposed to do, sorry, that's supposed to be a 5. Step 1, always make sure you wrote it down correctly. Okay, this matches this, but let's make sure this is right. 3, 1, 0, 2. 5, negative 4, negative 8. Negative 5, 0, negative 4. Yeah, okay. So this is like a system of equations where we want to cross things out again. Our goal is to get it so it looks like 1, 1, 1. This is called reduced echelon form. Reduced row echelon form, which we will talk about in a minute. And whatever numbers we get here would be our answers. I'm going to show you how to do this by hand, but I'm going to be very honest. It is not worth the effort to do it by hand. You have to in linear algebra, but that's after a couple years of calculus, but who cares today? So I'm going to say plus row 3. I'm taking this row, and I'm going to add it to that row. So everything else stays the same. Negative 5 plus 5 is? Negative 4 plus 0 is?
Negative 4.
0 plus negative 4 is?
Negative 4.
Good. Negative 8 plus 4 is?
Plus 4.
It's just 4, yeah. So far, are you with me? Okay, so my goal is to make it so that I have 1s across here and get rid of everything else. This row, I'm going to divide it by, what do I need to divide negative 4 by to get a 1?
4. No, negative.
I'm going to divide it by negative 4. So I'm going to leave everything else the same. 3, 3, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, negative 1, negative 5, 0, negative 4, 12. Okay? This is going to come out ugly when I do it by hand. It's going to take a lot of time. And you just keep doing that process of add, subtract, multiply, or divide to get rid of everything else. So for example, if I want to get rid of this negative 5, I have a couple of options. I could add this row to it twice, right? And actually, I would probably do that. So I would do everything staying the same. What's 3 times 2? It'd be, what's 3 times 2? 6 plus 6, take away 5 is? What's 1 times 2? 2 plus 0 is? 0 times 2 is 0. That would be 2 times 2 is 4, plus 12 is 16. So now I've got a 1 and a 1, which is good. I would take away row 3. Do you see how this is going to take a long time? It takes a really long time to do like this. It does work. It just takes a really long time. When I did this when I was in Algebra 2, I'm not joking that it took an entire page to do some of the questions because you have to write out so much stuff. So I'm going to show you how to use the calculator. So right here, go ahead and grab a calculator. I highly recommend a white calculator. For some reason, it doesn't have the stuff blocked. I don't know why the black ones have it, some of it blocked, but okay. The first thing we need to know is we need to know how many rows and columns. So it's always going to be rows by columns. In this case, how many rows do we have?
3. No, we have 12.
No, we have 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Wait, do we still gotta highlight it?
You're good, sweetie. So this is a 3 by 4. If I said 4 by 3, a 4 by 3 would mean we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So this would be a 4 by 3. You guys following me? We want a 3 by 4. So what we're going to do is in your calculator, we're going to be in Calculate. We're going to go to Menu.
Wait, hold on.
Menu. Now where does it say matrix, guys?
7.
So we're going to go to 7.
Row echelon thing?
Reduced row echelon form. Row echelon form leaves you work to do. This one gives you all the answers. So go ahead and click on number 5. So we're going to do 2, 5. And then we have to, inside of that, we're going to go again. Menu, 7, and then we're going to do create. So then it's going to be RREF, and then we're going to do menu 7, 1. And then we're going to press enter. How many rows do we need? So we're going to type 3. I'm going to press tab because when I press down, it changes my number of rows. So if I press tab, how many columns do I need?
6.
Nope.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to say enter. See how it has it set up for me?
Wait, what? Oh,
Do you need me to go back?
yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
tab.
are you guys to 7,
Wait, I'm gonna
are you to the reduced row echelon form?
2, 7, 5.
Okay, and then inside those parentheses, menu 7, 1.
2, 7, 1.
You're going to make sure that says 3. Then you're going to press tab and make sure that one says 4. Then you're going to press enter.
So once you get 7-1,
Okay.
it says matrix, real matrix.
Matrix. You want just regular matrix. Okay, and now we're going to put in the numbers just like we see them. I like to press tab to get from one to another. 3, tab, 1, tab, 0, tab, 2. And I'm going to stop talking so that you guys can... When you've got that, press enter.
Do I tell you what I got?
Nope. Just keep it on your calculator. When you got that, press enter. If it looks like this, you did it right. Now, how you're going to show your work on today's assignment is you're going to have to write down the matrix you started with and the matrix you ended up with. So we're going to go 1, 0, 0. Notice that they're in a clean line. 0, 1, 0. Clean line. 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, negative 3. This is always going to be your answer column. Needs to be nice and neat and orderly. Now let's talk about what that means. Do you remember that this is our x column, this is our y column, this is our z column?
Mm-hmm.
So 1x with nothing else is equal to, this is x equals 0. See how that's y? Can you see how there's no x's and no z's?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just y equals what?
2.
What does z equal?
-3.
Good job. Now, if that's not quite making sense to you, this would be 1x plus 0y plus 0z equals 0.
Oh, because it's only 1 x.
Mm-hmm. So since this doesn't have to be there, it's just x equals 0. This would be 0x plus 1y equals 0, plus 0z equals 2. And since those don't have to be there, it's literally just y equals 2. You guys following me? So this is called Gaussian elimination.
Is it Gaussian?
Yeah, Gaussian. I can spell it as soon as I look it up. It's Gaussian. Gaussian elimination. It is a required topic that I'm required to teach you. Here's what I care about. Can you set up your matrix?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me the dimensions so that you can put the right dimensions in your calculator? Can you put it in your calculator and pull out the answer? If you can do those things, you've got it. Now you've got to remember a couple special things. Remember, if we get 0 equals 0, what does that mean?
Is all real numbers?
Infinitely many. Not all real numbers. Infinitely many is different than all real numbers. No solution is when you get a number equal to 0. So like 0 equals 5, that's no solution. 0 equals 2, 0 equals negative 10. If you get something that's not possible, no solution. You guys got this down? Okay, you're still writing?
CSC.
No problem. Calc?
Oh.
Calc menu 7.5, is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and open it up. These ones, for some reason, these highlighter marks came through so you could see. Do you guys think, what letter should we have in the first column?
A.
Then what?
B.
Then what?
C.
Then what should this column be?
The number.
The number. Do you think you can fill that out? Okay, I'm going to do it quietly on the board. I want you to try it without looking at what I'm doing.
Oh, like, are you gonna calculate?
No, that's what I want you to write it on the notes. I'm gonna sneak it off the screen. I already made 2 mistakes. Mistake number 1 is instead of 1, I started to put a B. The other mistake is I started to put the 2 here instead of a 0. Do you guys agree with mine? Do I agree with yours?
Oh, that's it.
Okay, let's go through the calculator again. Where do we go?
Go to the calculator.
Menu. We're going to go down to matrix, and then what are we trying to do?
7, 5.
Reduced row echelon form. And then we got to put in the matrix. Menu. 7. Create. And if it has a bunch of different options, just pick the matrix. 3. Tab. How many? How many columns? 4. And put in your numbers. What is it? What the heck? What the heck? You do have to write this down to get all your points on
Huh?
this. Yeah, that's the right answer.
What is all of that?
I'll show you. We're going to write it down. Sorry, I'm having a hard time writing with it right next to, on that side of my hand. Okay?
I didn't get that.
If you didn't get it, you did it wrong.
I wrote exactly how you.
Can I see your calculator?
Oh, I forgot to do the negative one. Oh, I accidentally deleted it.
If you type, oh, sorry, did you type enter already?
Yeah, I accidentally deleted it.
Let me see it. Let me see your calculator. I can get it back. Unless you deleted. You can go in and edit the numbers if you want.
Okay.
I don't know if that's easier for you or not.
Shoot.
Okay, you guys with me?
Nope.
Still writing?
This is right.
Press enter. Did it work?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, guys, you with me? Okay, what we need to see now, what I want you to see is, can you see we have a 1 for x, we have a 1 for, sorry, a, b, but do you see how we have a 0 here?
Yeah.
This basically means 0 equals 0. What does 0 equals 0 mean?
Infinitely many.
Mm-hmm. Infinitely many. Is this breaking your brain or is this cool?
Is it what?
Is this okay or is it breaking your brain?
It's confusing.
Breaking your brain a little bit? Can you tell me what part's messing you up?
Everything.
Okay, so remember how you said you didn't want letters in math?
Mm-hmm.
We took the letters out,
I mean, yeah.
but
Since there's letters, taking them out.
it's confusing.
Yeah.
All right, let's break this one down. What letter, let's label it. What should this row be?
R. S. T. Number.
How many R's?
6.
How many S's?
4.
How many T's? What's our constant? How many R's?
1.
How many S's?
3.
How many T's?
3.
Constant?
18.
How many R's?
4.
How many S's?
4.
How many T's?
0. 12. Negative.
Okay, and then I'm just going to triple check myself. Okay. Go ahead and throw that in your calculator. Tell me what you get for the answer. I'll tell you the first two rows. What did you guys get for the third column?
That 0, 0, 0, 1.
No, that's the fourth column. What is
Oh, you're talking about, oh, the column. I got it. Negative 3 over 2.
Good.
3 over 2, 0.
Okay. So you guys, can you see how this would be? This bottom column right here is what's going to give us our solution right here. We're going to have 0r plus 0s plus 0t is equal to 1, which basically is 0 equals 1. Does 0 equal 1?
No.
So what does that mean?
It's no solution.
No solution. You guys seeing it? Your brain breaking? Okay, so if you get 0 equals 0, infinitely many. If you get 0 equals a number, no solution. Go ahead and flip to the last one. Let's set this up. What variable goes here?
R.
What variable goes here?
S.
Okay, now this one is going to have a lot of zeros, right? We don't have any r's in the first equation. If I gave you the matrix, would you be able to go backwards and give me the equation?
Nope.
Really?
No.
You can't?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so if I gave you you couldn't tell me that this is 2x plus 3y equals 7? You couldn't go from here to here?
So you're saying that is
2x
0r plus 2
s take away
minus 3t
Uh-huh.
equals 30.
uh-huh exactly what I'm saying.
Oh, just make it that.
Yeah. If I gave you a matrix, could you go back and give me the right equations?
Isn't the matrix the answer you get though?
The matrix is setting it up to get the answer. This is the reduced row echelon form is the actual answer.
Oh, well, if I make it that, I could do that.
If I give you this, could you go to that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Okay, this one did a reduced row echelon form,
The heck? I want to click control.
and then you tell me what you get. Nick, help me out. What do we get? Uriel, help me out. What do we get? Throw this in the calculator. Tell me what we get. Menu 7.5, then menu 7.1. Guys, if you think you got the answer, don't shout it out, but you can come show me and I'll say yes, and you can get started on today's assignment. Should be whole numbers.
I show you on my
They should be even. Yes.
Wait, whole numbers.
Let me see. No, it should be whole numbers.
How you do it?
Here, you want me? Yes. Okay, so did you guys put this in your calculator? We're having a hard time putting that in the calculator? You're going to go to menu 7.5. So it says RREF with parentheses. Then you're going to go to menu Uriel, wake up. You got to do this. We need you to pass. Menu 7. And then see how it says create? We're going to create a matrix. And we're going to just create a regular old matrix. And then we're going to change this to 3, 4. 3 tab 4.
I'm confused.
If you let me see your calculator, I'll find the mistake. 0 tab 2. And then you just put in the numbers.
After create, when you push,
Enter.
Yeah, that's the
And then 3 tab 4. Try, you want me to find the mistake? I'll look at it.
I found it, but how do I copy it down?
Just arrow up till it's highlighted.
Okay.
And then press enter. And then you can go in and fix the mistake. Okay. And then you just press enter. And it'll give you the answer.
Okay, there we go.
DeMarcus, you got the answer? Diego, you got the answer? Let's go. Alejandro, you got the answer? Without saying it out loud, just show me with your fingers. What'd you get for one of the numbers? Yep. 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 Proud of you, sweetie. Daniel, you got it? Need help or you just need some time? Okay. I'm going to move on because I am recording this for my other students. On today's assignment, I'm going to walk you through a couple of them. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to put the title at the top. It's literally just matrices. Mm-hmm.
Matrices?
Matrices. That's the title of the assignment. You guys are going to have a question that looks like this. And then it's going to ask you to find by plugging in a number. You should know how to do that. You're just going to change 8 to be what number?
6.
No, that's a 8. Sorry, you're going to change x to be a -8. Plug it in, multiply it out, give me a number. Notice that I'm writing on the lines in the grid. Notice that it's only one high and I'm not skipping lines. You guys are going to run out of space in your journal if you write huge. What am I going to change x to be?
6.
It's actually a -6. I just forgot to write down the negative. Don't forget the parentheses. You're going to plug in -6 there, multiply it out. I actually want to do number 3 with you, but I want you to do 4 by yourself.
Are these the equations?
These are a review, and then there's 4 equations with the matrices.
No, like those are the.
These are the actual ones from your homework. I'm going to do number 3 with you. And then you guys are going to do 4 by yourself. Okay, so it says fog. We're supposed to find fog. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the F equation or the G equation. Nobody knows? Which equation's first?
oh, okay.
So we're going to use the F equation. We're going to start, we're going to put parentheses instead of the A. Don't forget the squared, it matters. Notice it is one line, one box high. What are we going to plug in? Instead of A, what is it going to become?
4A plus
Yep, we're going to put the 4A plus 1 is going to go right here. Sorry. Do I distribute or do I do the exponent first?
distribute.
Yep. Do you guys remember PEMDAS?
Yeah.
So parentheses, is there anything I can do inside the, can those go together?
Maybe.
Those are not like terms, so they can't go together. So then we're going to do the exponent. What does squared mean?
Squared is times itself.
Times itself. So I'm going to write this times itself. We're going to have to FOIL this out. We're going to go ahead and multiply these two. So the first two are getting multiplied. I'm skipping a line right here just because I know we're going to need a little bit of space. The 3 is just going to come down. I'm keeping the parentheses. We're not done with that yet. What is 4A times 4A?
8A squared.
Almost. The A squared's right. What's 4 times 4?
I mean 16 is A squared.
Good. What is 4A times 1?
4A.
Now we're going to multiply the 1 times both of those. So we just took this 4A and we distributed it to the other parenthesis. We're now going to distribute this 1 to the other parenthesis.
So it's 4A.
1 times 4A is 4A, right on the money. And then 1 times 1 is 1, right on the money. And then we just kind of combine like terms inside the parentheses. What's 4A plus 4A?
4A plus 4A is 8A.
Sorry, that's a 3. I keep wanting to change that to a 1. And then distribute. 3 times 16, 3 times 8, 3 times 1. I'll do the 3 times 16. And you guys are going to help me with the others. 3 times 16 is 30 plus 18, 48. 48A squared. What is 3 times 8?
24.
Plus 24. Does the A change, or is it A squared or just a A?
A.
Just a A. 3 times 1 is?
3.
And I don't need the parentheses anymore because there's no exponent. Nothing's being multiplied. What's 3 take away 3?
0.
So you can just cross those out. So this is your final answer. Number 4 is very similar. I am not going to do it.
Oh, you're supposed to write that?
Yes, sir. And I asked you to find Goff. So you need to set it up almost exactly the same as this. We're going to start with the G equation, but you're going to leave a big blank for the N, plug this one in, and when you square it, you got to write it twice, FOIL it out, and simplify. I'm going to pause for a second. So just on number 5, you have 3x plus y equals 2. Then you've got 5x minus 4y equals negative 8. You've got negative 5x minus 4z equals 12. And what I want to see is if this was my work for me, I would skip 2 lines. I would have 3 rows like this. I would label one X, skip a line, Y, skip a column, Z. I would draw a line right here, and I would close this here. I would have 3 x's, 1 y, no z's, it's 2. 5 x's, negative 4 y's, no z's, negative 8. Negative 5x minus, no y's, minus 4z, and 12. That would be how I set it up. And then if it was me, I would put the answer underneath it. So I'm looking for the original question, the table, and then whatever you get for the solution would go here. Now you may need to use page 23 for this as well. That's fine. I'm going to start the next notes on 24. So if you need to use 22 and 23 for today's assignment, that's totally fine, okay? Go ahead and work on that. I'm going to stop the recording.